Okay, we'll start by taking a look at the carpet. Of course, Mercedes originally specified German square weave carpet, and that's what we have here. We directly import the German square weave from the only manufacturer in Germany, Lothar, a personal friend of mine. Great guy, I've been dealing with him for many years. He makes a perfect reproduction of the square weave carpet. We stock it in 13 colors. With our computer machine, we can take the roll of carpet. In this particular case, the customer has charcoal. Roll it out on the bed of the machine, press the button, and the whole carpet set is cut out in about 32 seconds. It's CAD controlled and extremely precise. There was some, and there is still some stock in the US of a much cheaper reproduction square weave carpet that was made in the Czech Republic, and apparently the factory then got flooded out when they had some flooding in Prague, and it's no longer manufacturing. So this is the only reproduction square weave carpet exactly as original, again made in Germany near Düsseldorf. So we have the square weave, and that's what we use. You can see that there's some leather listings sewn into this big piece of the rear cowl. Very little is seen when it's in the car, but you need a large amount to be able to handle. Customer here chose to go with what we call a complete carpet set, which includes pieces to replace the rubber pads, so you end up with carpet throughout the whole car. And then that's how we deal with the binding around the shifter. That can be a customer chose the attractive maroon color here. We can do this in any color, black or any color that either interior matches the interior or the carpet. Likewise with the heel pad for the driver's side. It's not installed yet on this, but we can do that in any color that's appropriate. Another thing that we're very proud of is getting the binding exactly as original. So we have this cloth binding from Germany. It has the herringbone pattern, as you can see there, exactly as original. And we have a special tool. You can see it marked Porsche 190 SL, and this is called the binding head attachment. And it is set on the sew machine, and it takes the cloth binding and feeds it in here, and then the operator can install this binding exactly perfectly at the factory specified distance, which is approximately 5/8 of an inch. In fact, it's detailed quite nicely in Bruce Adams' wonderful book. If you guys are restoring, it's a must-have. It's been very useful for us to get our spec right for the cars, and we often refer to it. As you can see, it's all been marked up and highlighted, and it's all the changes and things have been very carefully detailed. It certainly is a great reference for any restorer, and highly recommended. And in that, Bruce talks about the binding and the do's and don'ts, and we're confident that we have it absolutely correct. In the early days, Bruce was actually, I had quite a few telephone conversations with him. He was very helpful to us here at Heritage, and we appreciate that. He sent me pictures here, as you can see, and we talked about some of the details, trying to get things right. And you can see we developed this huge informational, we call this the 190 SL Bible. This is the Trimmer's Bible. Lots of photographs of how we do things. A lot of this now we have video for the production people here that they can follow, so that we get everything right and consistently right. So this book is very useful. We've got lots of photographs of original pieces, the door panels coming apart, and details that we've noted, and that we're reproducing here in an early car. And so that's how our knowledge has been catalogued. that's 113. Let's get out of there. Back to 190. There's us with our sun visor manufacturing. Again, I'll cover that in a separate video. But we also, I'll show you here the computer book, what we call the Gerber Bible. So this is our Gerber cutter machine. It's an American-made machine, and I tagged a couple of things here. First, we took original samples of ashtray leather, and we have some. Anytime we get information on chassis number changes for locks and so on, it's all carefully detailed. And we figured out as original dash leather, and using a micrometer we've measured and made each piece of leather exactly as the factory did. And here you can see the carpet set CAD file. What's next we have here? We have the flutes, the pleats, the pads that go inside the doors and the seats. And you can see early and late set here. They're all cut on our computer machine. We have experimented with lots of materials to get the padding in the seats and the door panels exactly right. But the great thing with the computer is that it cuts these pieces absolutely square. Very difficult to cut by hand. The original felt type material is no longer available, and the fact that we get results with our proprietary formula, for want of a better word, that indistinguishable from the original felts, and that's what we're trying to achieve, the exact factory look. We have files in here that for our reference, but that we hand cut a lot of the leather. There's pieces of cotton bow drill that gets sewn into the back of the pleated section. Even those are cut on the machine, and we stock those. You just pull these pieces off. There's our sun visors. This is the foams and being cut to fit the frames. We also have the fiberboard strips that are sewn into the seats themselves. Again, they're with the correct auto board. We see a strip here, and the machine cuts those pieces precisely. Different lengths. There's the one for the skirt on the cushion, 3/4 of an inch by 38, and so on. Let's see what else we got. The bow drill is used on the seats themselves as they're sewn together. Even that cotton drill is cut with the computer. And of course, the convertible top itself, it's very important. Even the foam on the back of the door, on the front of the door panels, is cut this way. The door panels themselves are cut with our CAD files. You can see the machine cuts the holes precisely for the aluminum glove box. The board covers that go on the back of the front seats with the holes punched, ready for the silver grommets. Again, tack strips, and of course the convertible top. I don't have it to hand, but the convertible top. There we go. Is actually also cut on the machine. Now the great thing with this is that it also marks these lineup marks and sew line marks. We use a pencil in the machine, and it actually draws all these lines on. That way we can get our top stitch in absolutely perfect. The sewing machine operator just has to follow the lines. So anyway, you can see the advantage of having our machine. We're very proud of it. So I will now leave it there and move on to some of the covers within the kit, and we'll look at those in detail.